Hello, friends. Welcome to Ani Superfoods. Today, I would like to talk a little bit about budget, because we're all worried about, how am I going to afford this? How am I going to afford that? And I know that it's a real thing, but I just want to get you a few little ideas of what are some of the things that maybe you can do and that it can help you to stick to a good habit or good habits for nutrition. And it doesn't have to get expensive. It just had to be a little bit planned and we got to do a little bit of research, look around, and there are some things that you're not going to be consuming anymore. So that money can be invested into the really good stuff. So some of the things you can start eating more, which is not very expensive, is like liver. Liver is not very expensive, and it will last you, like a pound of liver will last you for a long time, especially because you don't need to eat like a whole lot every time you eat some. So you can just have, I don't know, like a little piece, as much as your body feels like you need. You know by the taste and how you feel when you're eating, and if you're really enjoying it, and if you're really hungry and enjoying it, that means that is exactly what you need. There are other people that maybe have to force themselves to eat it, then just don't eat it, then just save it for later. And then when you feel like, I will love some liver with stirring with some butter and maybe mixing with some eggs or something like that. And you can, you can just use that as a supplement for the other stuff that you eat. For example, you can also use like canned salmon or canned sardines or any other tuna. We gotta be careful with those, because the bigger the fish, the more the problem and the concern with the contamination of mercury, among other things. But once in a while, you can consume it, and it's not a big deal. It's still better than other things that produce more inflammation and that might cause you to have some sort of an addictive behavior like sugar. So a can of tuna is always going to be better than cookies. Okay. Then eggs. Also want to make a difference between, for example, some people dwell too much on the organic and the non-organic and conventional and non-conventional way of raising, and there's a lot of misinformation there. Don't let that stop you, because also at the same point, the same principle, always eating eggs, even if they're conventionally raised, is always going to be better than eating Oreos or Cheetos. Okay, so Cheetos, yes, they might not be very expensive, don't feel anything, and it doesn't feel a thumb, and you eat them, and then you want to eat more and more and more. And please, I'm not like attacking anybody who likes Cheetos. If you like Cheetos and you thrive and it's okay for you and it fits into your budget, that's okay. I'm not doing this video for people that likes those. And I mean, you probably wouldn't be watching this anyway, but if you're not interested in that. But what I'm saying is that from a nutrition perspective, always eating any conventional kind of meat or eggs or dairy is going to be way better than eating a prepackaged food or packaged food or processed food, if we can kind of put like Cheetos and Oreos and super processed things like that. Okay. Okay. So that also, and eggs that are conventional are very, very inexpensive. And yes, the nutritional profile from an organically raised egg compared to a conventional is very, very big, but still much better than any other stuff that might not be very healthy for you. So I don't worry about buying organic food or anything like that. I have a lot of friends who live in the country here, so there are a lot of them that are hunters, and they just say, "Hey, Anna, I brought you an elk. You clean it and freeze it." And that's what I did. So yeah, elk, game, wild game, birds, grouse, pheasant, all those things are awesome, are good too. Are very low in fat, so maybe you have to add some kind of fats to make it more tasty and to make it more digestible also, because sometimes your body will tell you when you want more fat, when you want less fat, And I'm talking to the ones that are focused on starting a mainly animal-based food. You can also integrate these foods and still eat, if you feel like you feel good and you don't have to change anything, like avocados and cucumbers. Because in another video, I'm going to make an explanation a little bit of why certain vegetables and animal products, to say plant products might not be very good because of something called anti-nutrients, among other things. But we're going to talk about that another time. But if you feel good eating certain vegetables or fruits or, or seeds, and they're still whole foods. The main focus here is focusing on whole foods. And if your thing is plants or fruits or meat, as long as it's a whole food, it's always going to be better than a processed one, which we know which ones already are, right? In my case, I focus on animal-based because it's what best works for me and what I feel the best of the best of the best. Okay, so I just wanted to share that, and don't let sometimes the lack of income or whatever stop you. Try to look for resources that places, like even to the dollar store. Sometimes in the dollar store you can get like $1 cans of tunas or whatever, and try to mix that maybe with something a little bit, like you can make a dish with a can of tuna, maybe a little burger. And if you stop by McDonald's, just ask for the burgers only, don't eat the bread and all the other stuff. And there are ways to go around it and figure out a way that will work for you. You don't have to be wealthy or anything like that to be successful at being healthy. Besides, with all the money you're going to be saving by not going to the doctor and all of that, in my case, at least in my case. And I just think that it will be a great idea and a great investment as well. And then you realize that it's possible and you just keep going. So those are some of the ideas that I wanted to share. Oh, and don't forget about bone broth, because bone broth, instead of throwing away the bones, you can still use them. And that has a lot of collagen, minerals. It doesn't have much protein because there's no meat in there, but bones even have protein in there. They're like 40% protein as far as I know. But you drink the bone broth and you get a lot of nutrients. Like I said before, it's like a natural, if you're talking about multivitamins and multi-minerals, bone broth is one of them. So yeah, experiment with organs if you can find them. It's hard to find them in here. Where I'm coming from, Argentina, it is really easier to find organs. Also, another thing that people like to snack on instead of chips, if you want a replacement for that, you can use pork rinds. Those are really good and people feel good, and it's good for the transition also, when you're passing from the higher sugar based diet or plant-based diet to a more animal-based diet. Pork rinds can be a very good option, among other things. So there you go. I just wanted to share that. Hope that you guys can find some help on this, and that you will have an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching, and the ones that are subscribing, thank you for subscribing as well. Appreciate that you're taking the time, and I appreciate your interest on these kind of things as well. Okay, thank you. Have a very nice day.